How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Q&A. Today we're joined with Mod Matt K.
All right.
Mod Kieran.
Hello.
Mod Ed.
Hello.
Mod Ash.
Hello.
And myself, Mod Archie. Some strangers showed up at our door today. We weren't sure what to do with them. We decided we'll let them in the building. And that's all you're going to see of them. All right.
That's very subtly quiet, that was.
Ninja.
I think we were meant to continue talking during that.
Okay. So there's something else kind of important happening this stream. It is Mod Ed's last stream with us.
Oh no.
Final week.
Oh, you're getting rid of me.
Wow, you sound so sad. All right, a couple of quick questions for you. How's it been? Have you enjoyed your time?
Yeah, it's been all right.
That's good.
I'm pretty sure that question said say yes in brackets.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
It does
I
say
have to
yes
say
in
yes. No, yeah, it's been fantastic. As someone who has played the game for as long as I have, to finally come and actually work on it has been an amazing experience. So, yeah, it's been pretty good. Thank you.
It was nice having Bodhi on the team.
It was.
It was. You did a really well. You did a really good job.
Second question. What's been your favorite thing you've worked on so far?
It's got to be the Winter Todd.
Yeah.
I think, without a doubt, being able to design something and get it in game, that's been pretty amazing.
Kind of a big deal. It's still extremely active after a couple weeks now.
Yeah, apparently people don't actually hate it, so done all right.
That's good.
Measure of success, that.
That is a success. All right. Right, let's get into the questions then. Jumping into the first one from J-Man says, can we get magic incense burners? These would require 96 construction to make. You'd have to upgrade marble burners with 2 magic stones and 500 noted Marintil. These would allow your burners to stay permanently lit.
Oh, that sounds a bit powerful to me.
We've got more hotspot capacity these days, so there's nothing on the tech side that's going to interfere with it if it were wanted.
500 noted Marintil seems a little low for
It
permanent.
is, yes.
I'd say like 5k.
Well, if you consider how many Marintor are being used by a POH operating a party all day, that's probably a fair bit of Marintil, and this goes on forever.
I like the idea that you put a clockwork mechanism in it and it just automatically puts the next Marintil in the machine.
Ooh. And does it count down the Marintils until they expire or something?
Perhaps that is a good way to go about it.
We could do
And
that.
instead, you preload it rather than paying a lot of them and then
Right,
that's
so
it.
you stash your herbs in there in advance, and anyway, we could,
Yeah, so I think.
it's exciting in this room, you know.
Yeah.
It's difficult having a live audience.
Especially when they're giggling.
Is this an insight of what it's going to be like at RuneFest?
I think it probably is. But anyway, I think I quite like the idea of having having to replace those 500 Maritils 500 at a time, so that you can keep it going all day and then stick another 500 in the next day or whatever, just to keep
It's
that
a lot of
constant.
Maritil for a day, but
Yeah, well, you know, whatever the right amount is, and just keep working that day. And that just makes it easier to do and stops worrying about Marintel breaking the economy.
Right.
Ish.
That is a concern.
Yeah.
No.
Ish.
All right.
It'll be top of Reddit.
Okay, next question. There was an image with this. Unable to throw it in today. So Ash can maybe give an example of what this thing looks like. Builder Falcon says, this is the Rogue Kit, a reward from the Rogue's Den. You know what it looks like?
no.
Looks like a ninja outfit,
Okay.
doesn't it?
No.
I think he's talking about the
It's
item,
not-
the one that turns
Oh, the little
into
thing
a
in your
rope
inventory.
portal.
Yeah, so it's actually a multi-tool that can be turned into like a spade, a rope, whatever, something
okay,
really
okay,
useful,
yeah.
but it cannot be turned back into the multi-tool. So it only has the one use and that's it. He's asking if it can be made back into its original shape after use, which would be actually quite useful.
For that, the spade that it turns into, or the rope it turns into, would need to know that it was a multi-tool in the first place. So if you get a rope out of it and set up, say, a net trap with it, and then the net trap collapses, it needs to remember that wasn't a rope, that was a multi-tool. So we better put another multi-tool down on the ground for you. To be honest, all the things that use a spade and use ropes and all that, they're not reasonably going to be rewritten to remember what kind of spade it was, what kind of rope it was.
Right.
And even if we did, like, we'd have to find all the pace. We have to make a new kind of spade that is multi-tool. And humour is happening here, by the way, if you're wondering. And we'd have to update all the places in the game that look at spades. and reprogram the check for spade or spade as multi-tool. And that's really rather a lot of programming for saving you a blinking spade. It's a shame, but I like the idea very much, but it's just not something that we're really set up for, I'm afraid. It's the same reason that you can't dig with that spade, the equipment one from Treasure Trails.
I think the biggest round of applause has to go for Ash for keeping a straight face and carrying on going through that.
Very well done. Yeah.
Quite amazing.
Not for you guys.
Funny. Next question.
What is this Q&A?
Oh, you wanted to see me laugh? I have laughed.
There's 2 more of these coming at RuneFest. Got a streamer Q&A and old school Q&A. This isn't even the best to come.
Yeah, indeed.
All right. Parwinder
We have
says,
a special visitor during our Q&A as well.
Do we? We do?
Yeah, I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Parwinder says, can you add warm gloves to the Wintertodt drop table?
No. No, I can't do it.
No?
They are on there. I promise they are on there.
Okay, thank you. Just in case somebody doesn't understand your sarcasm.
This wasn't about having some way of being able to fletch in that place where it says your hands are too cold, is it?
Oh no, this is just the.
People
Oh, they
convinced,
want the rewards more common.
people
Yeah, they would
convinced
like
the drop
the
tables were
rewards to be more
changed.
common. Some people believe they are not on there. They are on there. I promise they are on there.
I've looked, they were there.
Right.
I think Kieran looked as well. Maz said you did.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Wintertodt, it's Seabass. I believe this was actually addressed with today's update, but why not? Can we get some info on the drop rates of the Wintertodt? What about more rewards the closer you get to 1,000 points? 750 points would mean 50% chance to get 3 roll drops.
Yeah, we've done that with today's update. So now, if you get 750 points, you'll roughly have a 50% chance at a 3rd roll on the drop table. So once you hit 500 points, there is now a reason to keep going for a chance at more rewards, even if you don't hit the 1,000.
Cool. You know what's really nice is making an update before they've asked for it, and then they ask for it, and it's like, we know exactly what you want. It's nice. All right, Adidas, because that's how I say it.
Adidas.
Adidas.
For the record, there's some other Canadians and Americans in here. Adidas, right?
Adidas, yeah. Adidas.
Right.
Adidas.
Adidas.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Are we clapping?
He's very approval for saying things before.
This is so
No,
nice.
hang on. The real.
It's also
the real
melee,
question-
not melee, right?
Melee. Yeah.
Melee. And it's beta, not beta.
Yeah, that's it.
It could be here for days. All right.
It's not. Oh, it's,
Yeah, the real question is it Opal?
no, it's not.
Okay. All right. He does have a question.
Yeah.
So,
it's Opal.
would it be possible to make the Varrock newspaper list all of the news updates?
While we could write text in that thing every week, it would be a really horrible read given the way it displays on the screen. So it would be a less useful way of reading text that's on a website for you. I'm just not seeing the win here.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Could be like an elongated version of the welcome screen message.
What we could do is have it open and just link to the website and open that in another browser window for you and have done with it.
That's cool. I think that'd do the
That'd be
trick.
nice, actually. Yeah. All right.
That's actually a cool idea.
My name is Mo has a proposition here for Mining Guild rework / expansion. So this expansion would be pay to play only, invisible +7 boost, new higher tier gold rock and coal rock requiring 90 and 80 mining, rune and addy golems similar to how Ents were made in the woodcutting guild.
What does a higher tier coal and gold rock do?
That's the question I had, and I searched his image.
I
couldn't
assume
find
it probably means like the ones in the living rock caverns
Yes,
where
from-
you can sit and mine them and they never deplete. Well, I was always up for the idea of a mining guild expansion, and I like the idea of having the +7 boost, having golems that you can kill in the similar essence to Ents. Really like that. That's cool.
The code we use for the woodcutting invisible boost is adaptable to just about anything we ever want.
Yeah.
I have a question about.
Very happy to do
So
that.
a tier 90 gold rock, would that take like 3 times as long to mine then?
I don't
Or
know.
would you mine at the same speed as a gold rock?
I'm guessing what Kieran said, where you can mine the gold rock and get multiple gold ores out of it, and it's.
Oh, you failed.
And it's just level 90 because they want it to have a higher rec on it, so it's not too easy to just mine loads of gold.
Right. Right. Okay. Moving An unoriginal name says, here's a suggestion, sorry, white salamanders. There is no content in the highest levels of hunter, so I suggest adding white or frost, this is difficult, salamanders to the ice plateau in the wilderness. Troll-wise.
White salamanders is something we've actually already been discussing doing.
Yeah, he's had this idea many times now, and I've purposely said, all right, I'm going to hang on to this because I think we actually want to do it. But I'm told I'm allowed to ask this. So there would be tier 80. They'd have the same stats as dragon weapons, while functioning like salamanders do, of course, but there would be a rare drop at one that could have a longer range. So, what do you think?
Didn't John have a plan for something that sounds a bit
Yeah,
like this?
we've wanted to add that onto somewhere on Zero at some point.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think from what John was saying, at the very least, the hunter part,
Yes.
the combat side would depend whether people wanted something like that and would need polling, but the hunter part, I think, is definitely something that can happen.
Yeah,
In case anyone's wondering, there's a drip coming from this ceiling,
we don't know why.
right between his legs,
Right.
on the floor.
We're not going to get any genuine feedback on these ideas. I haven't read a single thing in the chat that has been like relative to the question.
That's true.
All right. Next question then. Just Guts No Glory says, can we be given a 2-second immunity after opening the Barrows puzzle door? This would allow players time to actually solve the puzzle rather than having to memorize the answers.
I think we discussed doing the same as what you did at the Gibbity lever at some point.
Well, for that matter, the Barrows reward chest has something of the sort already, and I wrote it to be applicable to anywhere we like in the Barrows.
Awesome. I think that would suit it perfectly.
I can't honestly remember quite how I did it, but whatever it was I did for the Barrows reward chest, we can do it for other things in the Barrows.
Does that handle if something is already attacking you as well, or did you have to finish that off?
Yeah, that's the thing. Oh,
I
sorry.
think I made it actually immune even if something's already attacking
Cool.
you.
That sounds perfect for the puzzle then,
That's
doesn't it?
exactly what we need, yeah. For those asking, Wooks will be on the streamer Q&A at RuneFest. You can wait until then.
A site of wooks.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I can see one now.
All right.
Does exist, and he is real.
He is real.
I
We
can see
did
some
create
feet over
him.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, next question then. Pac-Man says, player-owned house suggestions. Bank deposit box in-house and visiting open houses using Fairy Ring and Spirit Tree.
The bank deposit box is. We just have to be a bit more careful about people smuggling POH-specific items out of the house by banking it. Something that has been a bit patchy over the years, I think. As for getting into somebody else's house, provided they stayed logged in while you were dialing the code and then saying who you actually want to go to, I don't see why not. It was tricky getting the POH entry code to handle the idea that you might want to go to the portal, but instead you might want to go to a room with a spirit tree, or a room with a fairy ring, or a room with both. But having done it, I think we can do it for this as well.
All right. For what it's worth, you guys can feel free to give your input on any ideas you like or don't
I
like.
think they should put not only the bank deposit box in a house, but the entire bank.
You should have a bank in your house.
Bankers, pins, maybe even tutorial island inside the house.
Genius.
Yeah.
Genius.
Why didn't we think of that?
Yeah,
I like that.
The customers have spoken.
I mean, if the community wants it, right? That's our slogan. There you go. He is
Yeah.
the community right there.
Yeah.
We got to do it.
Well, if you want all that stuff inside one house, then that one person is the community. Yeah.
When you just want the ability to close doors on people in their houses. Yeah.
I had a request for that actually, the ability to toggle which doors did or didn't exist for a room. It's rather hard to imagine how that would work out in terms of making a menu, but I'm not ruling it out now we've got a bit more data to play with on a POA, on a room definition.
Yeah.
Okay. Unheard says, can you address groups of raggers that repeatedly rush and teleblock, making PKing not viable?
Yeah. Get rid of them.
ban them all.
Apparently we can, he says.
That wasn't the 75%
Okay, so
response, right
I'll
there.
take this one. Right, so the wilderness is as it's always been, and that is giving players the ability to do whatever they please. In Bounty Hunter, if you're playing by the target system, you have to fight your target. You don't have to, but you can by choice. Last man standing, player versus player. Again, there's an objective. However, player versus player worlds and the wilderness, again, you've always been able to do whatever you please. if somebody runs into the wilderness and he's fully geared in, say, black dragon hide and stuff that might be considered ragging, and he's praying protection prayers against you, you might think this guy's ragging me, but for him, he might just think this is just how I want to PK. It's really different, it's really difficult, and it's kind of something I think we have to leave alone and let people do whatever they please in the wilderness. That's all there is to it. It's tough. Okay. Universal says, can we see a repoll on stuff that almost passed a poll before the end of the year? Ronan's busy.
I can answer.
Yeah.
I'll have to shout though.
Shout it.
I think it's better if we just put the repoll questions on the standard polls, because we're never going to be in a position where we have like 20 of those questions at once.
Mm-hmm.
We do repoll them if it's appropriate and it's there when we're writing up the poll, but it's not something that we necessarily need to have that dedicated poll to achieve.
Right. If you disagree with Ronan and you think that there's tons of questions that could go on to this near miss poll, please compile them and send them to us, and we'll see if we can throw them on there.
The wilderness ditch.
We did repoll that one.
We've reported it 3 times.
Why are they spamming questions?
I think it was done firstly, just as a general poll, it was done on a repoll poll, and then it was done at Deadman launch.
They're confusing the
All of which
streamer.
failed at massively different percentages.
I think somewhere along the line, people might actually be voting no to things.
This is an interesting idea, this next question. I'm going to ask it to the audience. They're not listening. ATS34 says, how about a chance to duel the Slayer Masters in combat? They're required as dangerous combatants. We've never seen them fight. These fights would mimic a PvP experience, with each of them using healing, freezing, and special attacks. Possible rewards including defunct weapons, special attacks such as longbows and abyssal whips, extra slots, and blocked tasks.
Well, we could try and program an NPC to do some more of those special attacks. They're not going to be, whoops.
You sure?
He's smiling. He's on the floor, but he's smiling.
Do you think we should stick to the more traditional kind of boss fighting style where they have a set chunk of hit points and you have to slowly hit away at that until you kill them? Or I think it's a cool idea, a boss healing itself and eating as if a player versus player fight.
Do you remember the Revenants?
Yeah.
They ate. If you poisoned them, they cured. If they... they remembered how much food they'd got as well, so they'd only heal a certain number of times before they considered they were out of food and didn't do it anymore.
Right.
And the same for the number of times they could cure themselves. But they weren't like no player. I mean, they could even navigate slightly better than the average NPC, because they would start trying to move diagonally if they came up against an obstacle. Although trees would defeat them very nicely, which is how I was able to survive the wilderness in those days.
It'd be really cool if we could make like a hybrid PKing NPC that you could practice against.
What we'd
The people in
need,
here could probably use that.
What? Nay, bro.
what we would need is we'd probably need to capture a whole load of data based on the behaviour of what these PvPs are doing and see what is the what they're all doing, and then use that to build the behaviour of an NPC.
Right. I followed that.
Yeah.
Yep.
We get data, it tells us what to do, we do it.
I wonder if it could pass the Turing test.
Oh dear, yeah.
I'm not sure some of the chat capacity test.
Okay. There's an image with this one, I believe. If we can throw that up there. Tritami says, can we get the Witch Doctor outfit that was pre-EOC implemented into Trouble Brewing or something to do with Herblore? It would offer a 2.5% bonus. That's the wrong.
What was that?
That was the
I think that was a
multi-tool.
thing. Yeah.
There it is. This looks awesome. I PK in this.
I'd be scared if you came running at me with a sword and that.
Yeah. Imagine a clan of that. All right.
What did you give you a 2.5% increase in?
Herblore.
A blow. Okay. Looks like a good idea. Let's do it.
Yeah?
I'm pretty sure that was a hunting outfit.
Was it? I'm quite sure it was
I think
Herblore.
that was a hunting outfit.
Well, it was kind of the Jadinko place. You got interesting potions from there as well, especially if you got into the instance version when it didn't think you were in the instance version, and you kind of got infinite free XP. But
Yeah,
apart from
we have a bunch of hunting outfits, but they don't do anything. So
yeah.
All right, let's move along then. Of course, mate says, can we get some more underwater content?
If the drip in the ceiling carries on, you will.
Would have been cool to do like one of the raids
Yeah,
bosses.
interestingly enough, we did
Maybe
the survey a few months ago. We sort of spammed out a whole idea of a few different sorts of cities we could make. And we had Menethos in there, we had Prifdinnis. And the one that came third was an underwater city. So there seems to be a imagination in the community that they can understand what that is.
Right.
So I'd imagine that would be quite popular.
Okay.
You know, me and John are talking about something at RuneFest.
Yes.
We were talking about possibly having something underwater with.
Oh,
Sailing.
oh.
Let's do
Underwater.
this.
Recall it.
Let's do this
Submarining.
right now. We're gonna cut back to the streamers. Design us an underwater city.
Atlantis, but with guns?
A building underwater.
You know the recipe for disaster?
We know.
The Pirate Pete part?
Yeah.
Nothing like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of gem rocks and whatnot to make it.
Gym racks for strength training, bench presses.
That could work.
Yeah, we should bench
Gem
press
rocks,
it.
though.
Oh, gem rocks!
Not-
I
not
thought you
like
said gym racks.
Bench press.
Gem racks.
That's almost as good.
But no, like that underwater bit, that's pretty interesting in the quest.
But not like that.
But not like that.
Right.
You want to be able to swim up and down as well, so it's not just on a single level. You have to keep going.
That's too much.
Or is that just too
I'll
complicated?
That's good. I'm glad that's too much.
Three dimensions in
Can't really
old
do
school is
that.
probably a bit step too far.
Well, if they have kind of invisible floors, then you will kind of get the sense of swimming up and down a
We could have little jet
Since you
flows.
can't see it, it will feel like you're going up and down.
Dan did something years ago. Was it Dan who did?
He did many things years ago.
Yeah, he did. He did this. It was an interesting thing. He created some dragonfly and stuff, didn't he?
He
And he
created-
made sort of a map where they would look like they were doing this.
Well, what he created was a dragon with a man-shaped growth on its back,
Yeah.
which was great, provided you didn't mind looking like a growth on a dragon's back.
Yeah, but I'm sure he mapped it so that when it flew along, it did that, and so it looked like you were flying up and down and round and stuff.
Looks like it's out of
Not
control.
uncommon.
Well, yeah, you know, well, seeing Dan's driving.
I'm gonna present you guys with a bit of a challenge actually, because I don't know if you have anything else to do for the rest of the stream. I'm gonna want you guys to design a piece of content together and pitch it by the end of the stream.
Underwater in specific.
No, keep it a secret. Do whatever you like. All right, let's get back to the questions.
If they're bored, we can always invite them to come and stand behind us and mime what the questions are about.
I like that too, but I like this idea more. Okay, let's move along to the next question then. Chrono says, can we have it so that if you get a God Wars Dungeon pet like Bandos, that pet counts as a God Wars Dungeon item?
While that is entirely possible, because I did it in RS3 years ago. Yeah, you just have to put an extra check in the hunt mode stuff, and it's even easier for us, it was for RS3, because we've only got one form of the pets rather than two growth stages leading up to it. We'd have to see whether the players are okay with the things that were offered as cosmetics suddenly become valuable things that benefit you.
Yeah.
And it's rather hard to tell what the chat's got to say.
Actually, it probably
I have
would
no
function
idea
as,
what they're designing right now, but
realistically,
they're
it
loving
should
it.
function as the opposite, because it's proving you've killed their general thousands of times.
So it should
Instead,
instead
it should
infuriate the boss and make him
incentivize them to
stronger.
attack you over anyone else.
Yeah, it should enrage the boss and make him stronger. I agree.
Next thing they'll be asking if they can put the 4 God Wars pets kind of in a kind of stack sitting on each other, so that they can have all 4 of them following at once as one tower of...
Well, you could totemize them, couldn't you? You could, put them into a totem and nail them together or something.
You could launch them with catapults as a weapon. Some quality ideas.
These little bandos. Way.
Well, since you've got 2 wings on the little Kriara pet and 2 wings presumably on the Zilyana pet, you can have a kind of quadricopter thing going.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yes, they like it.
Well, the players like something.
Be like a weird. It could be like a weird
One of those
Angry
ideas
Birds
was
game.
good.
I did invent a new word throughout that sentence, which is totemize. I think I'll use that in the future.
That's
That was
We all
quite a cool
understood
word.
it, so yeah.
I don't think that would stack up on Countdown.
Way.
Let's go to the next question. Hess says, rework brewing by adding new ales to fill the content gap of 64 to 99 and make brewing a more rewarding activity. He's got some suggestions here.
Oh, good.
Right? Make the time it takes to brew more consistent. Give the stuff from Trouble Brewing a buff to make it actually worth using. Add a new player-owned house room that allows you to brew ales in your house.
Like that.
All fine, but what do the new ales do?
He has a massive
There is a
image.
massive
I
list. I've
promise
seen
you
this.
this
It's-
image is like 17 sheets of paper long.
I've seen this. It is really well made, and
I'll send it to
he
you.
has a whole list of logic for how the stuff would work and everything. So
Every now
Provided
and
the stuff
then-
you're making with it is stuff that's going to be all right in the game and won't make the herblore skill vanish, then I'm up for just about any
Yeah.
of that stuff.
I mean, even without adding the ales, like making the stuff a lot better, improving the usability of brewing and adding a room for it would be great.
It's funny, I pitched making the stuff better a couple of times, and it always gets stuck on, but the ales aren't worth having.
Yeah.
But if they were, then that'd be all right.
I don't know what the code's like, and I probably don't want to know, but...
Well, my
where the
description of
stuff
it is
looked at.
unfortunately not something I can say on a live stream. Suffice to say, take the farming code
Yeah.
and insert insult here, the brewing code.
Nice.
Right.
It sounds like changing how the percentage chance of the stuff doing better would be easy, but
I'm sure it would be making the rates more consistent. We'd probably start by
yeah.
just deleting it, right? And,
well, we still don't know. I mean, the farming code's a lot better, and we still don't know how that one in Grand Tree doesn't grow at the same time.
To be honest, ever since it dawned on me that even if we found out, we should still leave the darn thing alone because people probably would benefit from it as it is,
Yeah.
and it's still not OP. I stopped bothering to look for it because even if I found it, I wouldn't want to change it.
We're going to grab some questions from the chat, I believe, as I asked Jed to do.
Oh God!
He's doing now. That's fair. If you guys have any questions for us or our special guests, even, go ahead and throw them in the chat, and
wants
we
to
will
know
somehow
Boaty
grab them in between the
You want to
emotes.
know what?
Well, there's a question in the chat about whether Boaty can talk.
No.
This next
can't.
question.
He's not
He says
here.
he can't.
This next question is for Maudette, actually. Lasby
Oh.
says, "Can you remove the delay when feeding burning brazier if you get hit by the snow?"
No.
Good answer.
Like,
Okay.
if you get hit by the snow, you stop feeding it. If you kept feeding it when you got hit by the snow, it would be AFK, and we don't really want that.
Good opinion.
If his opinion changes in 2 days when he stops working here, that'll be interesting.
He's gone. Everything's AFK now. All right. Throwaway says, "Any data on how fire making levels have been gained? Sorry, how many fire making levels have been gained since the Winter Tod?
I don't think we've got any
Anything
data
like that?
for
How
it.
many
Well, I haven't
pets?
looked
Let's take a guess. How many pets have been introduced into the game from? Winter Tod?
250, I reckon.
5,000.
You reckon? Do you
I
have
have
an
no
answer?
idea.
Do you have the answer?
No,
Oh, okay.
I've just seen a lot of them.
We will soon. TM.
TM.
Yeah. The one-
But looking at other websites, third-party websites, the amount of fire-making XP that's being gained is absolutely ridiculous because so many players are just focusing on that activity.
You know what? I think it's worthy of a round of applause. Why not? You have made fire making fun. Yeah.
Love you.
Some people say we ruined it, but most people seem to think it's fun
Can't go
now,
with that. That's
so
okay.
Yeah.
we'll go with that.
Well, if we've ruined it, they can still make fires the same way they did before. I mean, that's completely
yeah,
possible.
exactly.
Since I've been doing these Q&As, one of the most asked questions was, please make fire making less boring and tedious. And, there you go.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean,
question-
for the data side of stuff, the way it works is once we've got the information into the data warehouse, yes, it does really exist. We have to then ask the data team to get the data out of the warehouse. So they go down there with their big barrows, they sort through all their data, they put it in there, they wheel it back, and then they send me an email with it in.
Yeah.
I just need to ask them what it is, then they'll go and get it.
I love how the data warehouse is a big conspiracy. And no one
It always reminds me of the film Dreamcatcher, because one of the guys in there has the memory warehouse where he keeps all his memories. That's a great film, Dreamcatcher. If you haven't seen the film Dreamcatcher, watch it, it's brilliant.
Is it different to the book, do you know?
I haven't read the book. I read one Stephen King book, and well, that's not true. I read two. The Green Mile, which is just quite fantastic.
Isn't that the same as
So-
like the BFG?
But I also read. Yes, probably.
More aliens.
I also read Gerald's Game, which was not at all enjoyable, and then I just couldn't read another one after
I
that.
think
I like
you
that
may
one.
have lost the chat.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question then. EXE says, please let leprechauns store noted items.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone's
Who was
excited
that?
about that.
Who was that?
Who's
I want a
the closet
close-up.
farmer?
We've got a question from the chat. Beaver pet from Winter Todd Roots? Question mark. Good question.
Unless you added it in today's update, no, it's not there.
It's not there now.
It's not there.
Personally, I would actually side with not adding it
Yeah.
because it's primarily a fire-making activity. You're not getting good wood-cutting XP there.
Sounds like I'm afraid you cannot get your beaver there.
Besides, it's way too cold up there. That's just animal
Beavers-
cruelty to the poor
beavers don't
beaver.
live up that cold, do they? No.
What would it be doing in that wall, anyways?
You would just get a
Well, what's it
frozen
do
beaver.
anywhere? Beavering.
Similar subject but different question. Why is it that you can only get the chin chompa pet from catching chins, whereas most of the skilling pets you can get from anything in the activity? But the same can be said for
Yeah, is
That
there
tree
reason,
wasn't a
or-
beaver.
Can you guys zoom back in on the chat? We've become unable to read that. Jeez.
I think we're missing a lot.
That's a very good point. Why isn't the chin chompa pet available from other hunter
That
activities?
seems logical that it comes from chin chompers. That seems sensible.
Well, right, but Kieran has a very, very good point.
I mean, you can get a raccoon from thieving from a chest in Pyramid Plunder.
What was it doing in the chest? Right.
Yeah, someone
looking
want
for
their
loot.
raccoon in the chest, you know? That
But
makes sense.
none of it makes sense. I mean, I'd totally be happy to look at adding the chin to other hunting activities.
I don't see
Particularly
Does anyone do
That's
them?
a huge training method.
That's a good
Well,
question. But it is a bit time consuming to go through and make sure it's balanced right, but that's it. We can do it.
If you're fishing, you do get pets all the time, and they're fish, and they're dead.
Wow.
Deep.
Might actually be a nasty thought next time you're fishing.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Just remember, you're a winner every
question.
time.
Moving along, then. X Hava says, "Can we repoll each raid's armor set separately?"
So with the raids armors, we are currently actually investigating into why people voted no still. We certainly are going to look at tweaking them. We don't know exactly what, and reoffering them because they were fairly close. If they were a little bit lower, we'd probably went with, we're going to come up with something different. But believe it finished on 72.4. So we're going to look into what reasons people voted no. We're acquiring that data. I believe we'll want to send out a survey at some point. But we're going to find out and then reoffering them with some tweaks. Well, that might include offering them as separate.
Okay.
It probably will.
There's certainly the chance to also to clarify in the question itself a few things that were in the blog for anyone who actually read the blog, but that they might not have known about, like the degradation behaviour.
Yeah.
It makes quite a difference to the armour, and if we don't mind having a bit of a wall of text as a question, which hasn't always gone well, we could rewrite the question that way too.
Yeah.
Who let Raj on the RuneScape Twitch account? All right, moving along. Next question is from Hooray for Jay. Says, "Can we get a jar of snowdrop from the Winter Todd? Perhaps a mini snowstorm to get in our play-around house."
A jar of snowdrops.
It is a boss.
The boss.
So
This question came up
You can
last
answer it.
week, didn't it? And the answer hasn't changed. We could, but now that we do have the display cases in the achievement gallery, it means that what once was just a item now requires a lot of graphics work to go with it
Right.
for every display case. Because I'm assuming people wouldn't want us to have the jar and not the display case. I think there'd be a lot of moaning if we
Right,
did
yeah.
just
They
have the
definitely
jar
would.
without the display case.
The goal is the
Well, you
end.
could have the storm that's in the winter.
So if we took the Winter Todd Storm and we painted the floor of the display case white, it would look pretty lame compared to all the other layers, but it would let the thing exist. But I think the response would be, this looks poo, do it properly, and we
Yes,
still...
I wouldn't want to rush something like that. If we were to add it, I'd want to give the artist time to make something cool. So,
I suppose doing a cosmetic that does not look good is a little bit of a waste of time.
yeah, so there's
I'd
also
certainly
that part.
like to do it at some point.
I'd like to add them for loads of bosses at some point, but there's always higher priority jobs around.
That's fair.
If we ever did the crazy archaeologist, Crazy Archie, gave him a jar drop or something, jar of knowledge or jar of
Crazy.
Archie, I'm not sure what his lair would look like because it's just a building or something. We could always put his hat in it, a really big one.
Pyramid. Pyramid's always cool.
Again, guys, if you have any questions
What?
for our special guest or us,
What
please
pyramid
go
got me
ahead
for it?
and drop them into the
PUBG.
An
chat.
actual
Oh.
question.
Yeah?
Can you buff the dragon, what the hell? Dragon halberd spec in PvP? Because it sucks ass right now.
Get the crystal,
This
Holly.
is PG, yo. It's poor. My bad.
Buff the dragon. It's not intended for PvP, though. It's more of a multi-combat one, isn't it?
Okay. I'd ask for my friend.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I've got a question. Can you get rid of the rune scimitar, the rune battle axe, the rune 2H, and the maple shortbow,
No.
and the last man standing chest, because they're just awful in comparison to
Oh,
every other
please.
weapon?
Please.
So we have the creator of Last Man Standing right over here.
We have the number one player of Last Man Standing.
Number one. Woo.
Who's
Flatter
the
me.
creator?
Mod Jed.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice work.
Last Man Standing is a tricky one. There's so many countless things I would love to see changed in that game. I'd love to see new maps. I'd love to see a variety in weapons being used. Maybe potentially more people, less people being used, you know, a whole bunch of different things. But in reality, it soaks up so much dev time. It's not light work putting in these changes. Jed's not going to say anything, so I'll summarize it for him. That's basically it. Yeah, I think really taking priority is going to be the high stakes weekends. We'll be doing more of those. They'll be on a monthly basis, probably mid-month, every month, give or take. That's pretty cool, I think. And a lot of people either had a really, really good time there or a really bad time there, but they're exciting. And then we can potentially look at adding and changing weapons. Hopefully that's not too big a job. Maps is next? Okay.
Can I just say how adorable it was that Ian raised his hand before asking a question, like he was in school?
We're in the office of Dragon. They invited us here, so the least I can do is be polite back.
Do we have a start date for the tournament?
We do. That's a
Yeah.
question on here. Pretend I asked it, go.
The final will be 1st of October at
Very soon.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to give it time. That's very brave.
oh crap! I've got to do. Sorry, I've got to work out time zones now. At 8 p.m.
Oh, 8 p.m. which time?
8 p.m. BST.
Okay. Which is
that
like
noon Pacific?
it's like noon.
Yeah, so that's noon Pacific. Yeah,
Yeah.
So that was 1st of October, was that?
1st October. Yeah.
Let's get in the diary.
1st of October, Dead Man Tournament. No
Yeah.
Dead
So
Man.
obviously the Monday prior to that is when you get your 5 days worth of leveling up, and I believe Ronan will correct me if I'm wrong. We're shutting down the existing Dead Man mode on the Thursday prior to that. So that's the next Thursday. Yeah.
And again, in case you guys aren't familiar, we have some pretty big changes coming to the next season of Dead Man mode. We're shrinking the season down from 3 months down to 1 month. We are disabling Zulrah as a whole. Don't think anything major else was being
No,
changed.
they're the big major changes. Yeah.
Trading, of course, it's huge. Trading is being removed. This will prevent swapping and muling, of course. Make it much more solo efficient, but you can still use the Grand Exchange to buy stuff and sell stuff. So
I think our guests are getting uncomfortable. Should
they-
we fan them all?
They should
it's
try
very
sitting on the
warm in
couch.
this room with like.
To be
30
fair, they
people
should
in
have brought some of their fans with them.
Dripping bullets.
They can have drinks out of that fridge
You
there.
should have
Shame
brought some
on
of your
whoever
fans with
laughed
you.
at that.
Oh, I know. Tell us about it. God dang it.
They could always have drinks out of that fridge, it helps.
I don't see in there.
Nice.
I'm
It's
pretty
all
sure they
Lucas
already devoured them all.
It's actually all Lucas Ale. I'm not sure I want to
like
see them
one
on high
Corona.
pressure sugar.
That Lucas it's been there for months because no one drinks it.
It's original Lucas Ale. Who buys original Lucas
Who buys
Well, someone
Lucas
did.
full stop?
What is Lucas?
You can find
That's
out.
exactly the point.
Okay. I'm trying really hard to grab questions from the chat. I'm not seeing anything. It's just like the fastest spam I've ever seen.
So yeah, so Dead Man mode, let's go a bit more detail into that, I guess. 1st of October is the plan. We've got some special stuff planned at that time, but we haven't quite finalised it yet. So that's what we're working towards at the moment, is that date. But if it does get surprised, does change, we will let you know as soon as we can. But that's what we're working towards. But hopefully we can absolutely, definitely confirm everything. I was hoping to today, but I'm still waiting to hear back from other companies that are involved in what we're trying to do. So it's going to be exciting. It'll be very exciting what we've got planned.
I hope you guys haven't forgotten your design. We're gonna hold on to that for a little bit. I've got a few more questions here.
Do they know about Christmas?
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
No.
This may have been asked before, but this has been asked a bunch of times actually. But you guys said you had files of the land, the Land of the Goblins quest that was in the directory that you said you could potentially bring back. Is there any updates on that or future quests in general?
Okay, so I think we mentioned this one last week, but we've got Path of Gloughery and we've got Land of the Goblins.
Yeah, that was okay.
Yeah. We've also got the ZMI altar, by the way. So the thing about that is they're not just something we can just splice in. For a start, mapping is quite hard to splice in because it doesn't fit the edge of map squares all the time. So the mapping would need a bit of serious adjustment to make it fit. Then there's the things like plugging into Slayer, because of course the Slayer code, which is very heavily for Path of Gloughery, it looks nothing like old school Slayer code these days. Plus there's the bugs. When Path of Gloughery came out, and to a lesser extent Land of the Goblins, we did have a few bugs on launch. In Path of Gloughery, for example, if you went back to the quest area after getting the reward and went through a certain door, you could get the reward again and again and again. We've obviously got records of what was fixed in it last time, and we can repeat all that stuff. It's just going to take a little while. So after a week or two of dev work, we could ultimately give the players a quest where they already know how it goes and what the outcome is, and in both of those cases leaves to a whopping very big cliffhanger that we have nothing to do with. Plus, we've done a lot of Slayer updates lately, and the Warp Terrorbirds has not been at the top of everyone's wish list.
No.
So to be honest, we've just left them alone on the grounds that of all the things we could be doing, those were not the things we felt we could.
That's understandable.
What about ZMI? I wouldn't mind ZMI.
In 2014, there was a very strong sentiment about leaving that thing alone. That may well have changed, and ZMI is actually a lot easier to integrate than the quests.
So controversial one, wasn't it?
Shall we do a straw poll? Just to see what the sentiment is about
a lot of
ZMI?
stuff that was controversial, I think, but I'm open to a straw poll on it.
How
A
quickly
straw
can
poll
you
on
summarize?
ZMI altar, yes or no?
How quickly can you summarize what exactly it is for anybody who doesn't know?
So a ZMI altar is essentially an altar you go to and you get random runes back. The runes you get are weighted depending on your rune crafting level, and you then teleport back out to the outside of the altar. You go in, there's a banker, you pay him 10 runes of any kind. You get your pure essence out, and then there's two paths to the altar. There's one full of dangerous monsters that you take damage as you run through it, and there's another long, windy path if you want to avoid the monsters.
In a game that has stamina potions, which of course did not exist back then, I think. Although the rest option probably did.
Yeah, and pretty much everyone did the dangerous path. But they all grouped on the same world so that you could take less damage because there's more people running through.
All right, we're going to get that straw poll in the chat for you guys. Go ahead and vote.
You also mentioned as part of the question, you mentioned about new quests coming up, and that's probably a reason you should come and watch the stream on Saturday at RuneFest.
Oh yes,
That's the biggest spoiler I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, next I'll be telling them where to find the bloody helmet.
They're going to be really disappointed when they show up and there's no quest.
Please give a tip. Give a tip.
I'll give a tip. What you have to do is to get it, and I'll only ever say this once, okay? To get it, you need to be logged into game.
Come on, Matt, give us something solid.
No.
One thing.
No.
CS.
Yahoo! Only once, only once. Yeah, bam, bam, bam.
Why are there living memes in our room?
I don't think that's too bad. That's
so
working out just between the yes and the no.
One of them is what is AMA? After Kieran just explained it.
Yeah, but it's
didn't
still
want your
hard to put across the information so quickly.
in case they want to know what the initials mean, it was Zamarakian Magical Institute. The altar's name was Urania, or Aurania, or Urania, or some such thing. How would you say it?
I don't know how it's spelled, so.
With an O.
O what?
Al.
U.
O-L-U?
Ourania, I think.
O-U-R.
So
I'm going to say
how
our.
finished is it?
Pretty darn finished by the look of it, although we never liked the interface for accessing your
we
bank.
changed that.
Yeah, we can make a
We'd
much
also
better-
make the bank stationary.
I don't know.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
This guy wandered around, and so you had to use the trick of talking to them and then clicking out and banking to keep them still.
Yeah, I wonder what we could do with the rune pouch to make it even easier.
Oh. But to be honest, I'd be keen to offer it if we've got it, and That
I like the
poll
music track.
was promising.
Well, I like the music track for a start, and of the people who seemed to know what it was, there was quite a strong majority in favour.
Yeah, I'd be certainly happy to offer a new music track, that's for sure.
All right, let's jump into these last few questions then. I Run to Bank says, would it be possible to label bank tabs, like numbering them or attaching a
numbers
word?
already.
Well, sorry, attaching a word to saying Slayer tab, fishing or whatever.
If we gave them a predefined list of different strings you could use,
then we can.
Then we
That's
can.
a cool idea, though.
On them, like a Slayer icon for a Slayer tab.
We could do that.
That we can do. If
that's
it provides
cool.
a pre-existing list of things, a finite list of things.
Yeah.
The reason we didn't do icons at the time is that we'd only just hired an artist.
That's right, yeah.
Rod Alfie. And he wasn't so big on doing pixel art, as I recall.
Yes, I think you're right there.
His contribution to the Bank Tabs project was a picture of a spanner on the bank settings menu, which toggles it on and off. He didn't seem to enjoy doing that very much either.
Yeah.
Let's straw poll another one, because why not? Would you use bank labels? Would you leave it as numbered as it currently is, or would you label the tabs as,
So you'd be able to
certain
use a
skill?
skilling
Yeah.
icon, or you'd be able to use a preset a list of different text strings.
Will the
And we'd be
skilling icon
presetting
have the
lists.
green
Roll one,
pixel?
like, yeah.
Will the skilling icon have a green pixel?
Yes.
We'd be presetting the list, by the way, and we wouldn't be able to, keep updating it every week for the rest of eternity with just another random thought here and another one and another one. Or if you need
Another one.
the label where you keep your afros, then we wouldn't be able to keep adding them all of them forever.
The issue is we can't save text strings on your player save.
Yeah, I mean, in the places where we have kind of done so, like the naming your cat, you end up with an interface like that to turn the text into numbers and send it off to the server, and you do not want a lot of those.
Okay, so we got the results there from the straw poll.
That's remarkably
Would you
spot on,
use
75.
bank labels 75%? It passes, it's happening. There it is.
The interesting idea I read for a bank update was to be able to tag individual items with words.
Right.
So that you
Brought
could
that
just
up.
type in the tag word and then it would just return all the items no matter where they were in your bank tab, which I thought was quite a wonderful idea. So you could just type in Slayer and it would come back with what you just tagged as a Slayer item. And you could just pick it up and drop it, and I thought that was quite nice.
Yes, and like I said, I think in the last week's live stream, but I'll happily say
Oh, did we talk
again,
about it then?
was that for that we'd need to be able to remember for every kind of item what labels you'd associated with it, which is rather a lot of data if you consider the variety of items available in the
absolutely,
game.
yeah, absolutely.
So, well, yeah, better to have it than not to have it. It's not something we're likely to be adding to the next poll.
No, indeed, yeah, indeed.
All right. Algodify says, is it possible to get the agility pet from barb fishing?
No,
Why?
because it's a fishing activity. It's pretty much the same reason
the
as
same thing.
I would be keen not to offer the beaver from the routes at Winterdawn. It's a fishing activity. The agility XP you're gaining is negligible. I mean, obviously it still counts. You're still getting agility XP, but it's minor compared to the fishing XP you're getting.
Okay.
I suppose it's like you don't,
Nice
even
to
if you're going over a shortcut that gives a smidgen of agility XP,
Yeah,
we
you
don't put
don't-
the pet on it.
Yeah, and also the squirrel would drown.
Well,
Modern Maz wouldn't approve.
All right.
you could get a wet squirrel. I suppose if we ever do underwater wood cutting, then you can get a different kind of wet pet there. But that's what's your next question?
Okay. Velopic has a suggestion here. Says, make Superior Slayer encounters only occur outside of the Stronghold Slayer Cave.
Now, while I see why they're saying that, because the Slayer Cave's already very good, they want better. We don't want offerings outside the Slayer Cave that give you reason to go elsewhere. Like the Catacombs. The Catacombs, where you made them a new dungeon, it has some benefits like the Skatizo boss and the Arclight stuff. But this feels a bit it doesn't really sit right with me. I don't know exactly what, but I think try to explain as well when you buy it that this works everywhere apart from Neve's
Slayer
Cave.
dungeon, yeah.
It's a bit weird.
It's a little odd, yeah. But
I mean,
there's clear support for the idea, though. So
Well, if you think it'll pass a poll, we can put it on a poll.
Yeah.
I would maybe, I guess.
But I'm certainly open to always looking for reasons to want to go to the Slayer Tower, for example.
Okay. Iron Megadeth has a suggestion saying, have the Pyromancers say Winter Todd is coming. moments before it spawns.
So the reason they wanted this, I believe,
How did
was
you avoid
because-
this meme? How did you avoid the meme?
I know the meme, but I'm answering the question
The
legit.
examine text on the Clue Hunter outfit, if I remember right, is "Winter is coming." So
Okay, you
we
got it.
really haven't avoided anything there.
Problem
They
solved.
say
So the idea was that they don't know when it's going to spawn, and this would give them a warning for when it's going to spawn.
But we have now added a we've now added a timer to show when it will respawn. So not really much need for it anymore, unless people really want the meme.
well, they do like a meme.
Couple last questions before we head back to the streamers. Lord Gozer says, suggestion here, feedback polls/surveys a week or two after major game updates. So say we release the Wintertod, 2 weeks we launch a survey. 1 to 10, how much do you enjoy the Wintertod?
They want this to be on the in-game poll system as well.
Given that we launch stuff every week, that's going to occupy the in-game poll system rather heavily.
Very true.
I think that's the biggest issue. We want to do polls all the time. We already find sometimes we have limited poll time because we want to have a poll focus on this thing, but we really want to do a quality life poll as well.
The value it brings as well is going to be iffy. It allows people to give an opinion on something, but because of the way we work and how close you are to the community, we probably already know that opinion. We've probably made those changes already. And it's almost validating that actually we have just listened to what you said and made it a bit better for you. So I don't know quite what value it would bring to us to understand stuff.
I suppose if the player doesn't like an update for a particular reason, they'd probably want to be able to tell us what the reason is. Whereas a kind of yes, no, are you happy question or skip question doesn't give them. They could probably have sent it to us already with the thing they want changed 2 weeks previously, and maybe we'd have changed it.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay.
I'm sure if the players don't like something, they'll find ways of letting us know.
Yeah.
I think we're going to head back to the streamers then. So about a half hour ago, I asked these guys to come together and think of a game update. All of them could think about that would be added to the game. What have you come up with?
Mr. Mammal's going to go first.
I got mine. All right, so my idea, because the Hill Giant boss is going to come out pretty soon, we released the quest Hill Giant Madness. I got the Purple Army keeps stealing their Limport root supply, and they have to fight back. And at the end of the quest, you unlock the Hill Giant boss. That's what I got. That's my idea.
And in order to hear yourself, you must have some very juicy chicken.
All right, go ahead.
Is that a cultural reference?
I have my idea. Earlier, you guys were talking about an underwater utopia you want to build. So I was thinking, you know how currently when you go down in Recipe for Disaster, there's kelp and everything, you can kill those monsters and those crabs. I was thinking, and I think it'd be a really great idea if we could have a watermelon.
Like a farming patch, like an underwater melon.
Because we're underwater, so like a watermelon tank, because it's like watermelon, underwater, melon.
Well, if we're introducing new food, then we'll probably go a step above like the sea turtles and the manta rays and the sharks with like whales. Whales would be pretty good. You could go whaling, and you could actually tie in sailing to that.
The game already, anyway. So.
Yeah, so.
And
there's an
on
idea.
top of that, we've got the Sage release, except they're like little harpoons you can throw at people in the wilderness that go an extra long distance, the longest range weapon you've got, and you can catch the whales with those as well. So.
Use the ballista.
Yeah,
That's an
with a harpoon.
infinity
Shoot them out.
Out of game.
They've really considered everything.
And
What would be
whales are useful
interesting
material.
is like having if you're going to make a utopia, whether it's something really magnificent or something like ruins, like Greek ruins or something underwater, have a shipwreck where you can go down, you can thieve, pirates' chests and whatnot. It could be some spin-off of like a Titanic acronym maybe.
This is a genuine idea.
Or anagram rather.
Hey, are you saying my watermelon idea is not genuine?
It's an underwater melon. It's different.
Okay.
Got water in it.
Yeah.
We wanted to do some underwater stuff with sailing and go underwater, get treasure from.
I still really like the idea of the gemstone dragon caves and whatnot. That would still be pretty neat.
Yeah. We kept all those ideas in case they come in handy at some point.
Yeah, I like the idea. Well, I mean, this was my idea, but I guess I like it.
Good.
Of going into like a shipwreck. It was kind of with his idea, But there's kind of like a little maze you got to go around, and at the end you loot the. It's kind of like agility pyramid,
That's a
except
big
underwater. Well, whatever, man. They can design it.
So you get an underwater rooftop agility?
Yeah. Yeah. Roof bottom agility. Ship bottom agility. You know what I'm saying?
We could have the swimming skill.
Well, I'm thinking about the Poseidon Adventure now. That movie about a ship that's capsized in the ocean, and they have to get through it while it's kind of upside down, and all the stairs are therefore not very useful. It's been remade recently.
Movie, I enjoyed it.
Well,
It's
we're gonna put a
terrible.
boss
We're talking about the 70s version or the remake.
Okay.
We could have a new weapon come into the game that's Ice Poseidon's Trident.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't, you know, I'm a nice guy, but I believe that I should have a statue in game underwater that, in fact, 5 statues, because why not?
All holding a watermelon.
Holding
Coloring, holding
some
whatever.
KFC, yeah.
What we could do is have a Trident of the Deeper Seas from what he's planning.
Yeah.
So
These are great
shall
ideas.
we straw poll the idea of? Let's straw poll the idea of an underwater sunken ship that functions very much like the agility pyramid.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's an agility course. You get some loot at the end from a chest.
That's a cool idea, yeah.
That's actually a legitimate idea. Let's
What
see
kind of
if they
obstacles
like
do you
it.
have to get past underwater?
Underwater agility
Tightrope.
agility course.
No, squeeze through walls and that sort of thing. I imagine.
Can the marks of grace be underwater as well?
Sounds like it was
Why
on-
not?
I want to have little air, but you got to keep your air levels up.
Can you
just,
Can you just imagine?
You've got little air bubbles around. You got to go to one every now and then and make sure that you're on
the side, yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be good.
Imagine this makes it into game. It would have the funniest story behind it.
Well, similar to like the Pharaoh's Scepter, you know, if you loot the thing, 1 in 1,000 chance for Ice Poseidon's Trident. They
Yeah.
can teleport you there.
Oh,
That's a great idea.
good idea.
Great
That's a
idea.
good idea.
Trident of the
It's
Ice.
Old School RuneScape Mythbusters 2026. Where did the content come from for the idea for the underwater ship?
I have a good idea. Can I have moderator in the RuneScape chat?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
it's done.
Oh.
Should we have the votes in today's polls?
How do you spell it? Poseidon. It's English.
I think it's Greek,
That's
isn't it?
actually a popular
Definitely
idea.
not English. The origin of the name, is it?
No, it's
I
Greek.
think it's English.
It's Greek.
It's Greek.
Oh, it's Greek. Poseidon?
The Greek-
Is it not an English word in Greek? I thought Poseidon was said like something else.
It's what we call the Greek god of the seas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How do you not know that?
Greek mythology.
No, I know it's from the Greek mythology, but I thought they would say it differently in another language, like Greek. Not like, so in Greek they just say Poseidon.
They probably spelled it differently, but probably
I
pronounced
thought
it
that
the
was
same.
English.
I don't know. All right, we've got those straw poll results.
Well, the EI diphthong might be pronounced like A. I don't actually know it had to
What?
be Greek. Oh, nothing.
I agree. Underwater ship with some loot at the end of a maze, aka underwater agility course. 90%. So many stream meme lovers.
To be honest, I'm actually blown away we got something legit.
Some
If this gets
opportunities
added to
first.
the game.
That's actually cool.
Yeah, but also, like, in the underwater ship, right, there could be some kind of cart with the windows all steamed up.
Oh, you know what this means, don't you? We have to change the presentation for RuneFest.
No.
We could postpone
Last
it.
minute, 2 days before.
That ain't gonna be happening.
You can take that one, yeah.
I actually like that.
Cool, good idea. All right. I think that's gonna just about. We've got a few more things. Yeah. You just yell.
Give me a minute.
Oh, okay. We've got one more thing, maybe another thing. Has it been a minute?
No, just
Keep talking.
What do you need?
damn it, Chris. My mic out here. Right. Your go time to jump on.
Who's coming from behind?
Yes, trying from behind.
Okay.
I just wanted to hijack the entire stream just to say thanks to Mod Ed, who I think you all said, so yeah, they all just started clapping. I think you already know it's his last day tomorrow, his last stream today. I just wanted to thank him for all his contributions. We wouldn't have had the Winter Todd without him, so thanks and good luck.
Speech.
One art thing.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss them.
Speech.
He's too strong for you.
What arm thing, homie?
Exactly.
Okay. Right, so if you enjoyed this stream, there's 2 more happening at RuneFest. We have the streamer Q&A and we have the old school dev Q&A. Very exciting streams. You don't want to miss that. Do you have the times memorized?
Yeah, the old school streamer Q&A is at 1 p.m.
1 p.m.
We're joining you.
Joining us.
BST.
That's BST. The Q&A for old school dev, which isn't just going to be a Q&A, it's going to be a reveal section as well. So lots of questions, lots of stuff you've never seen before, lots of us talking about all sorts of exciting stuff. That's at 2 o'clock BST. On Saturday, it's going to be really exciting. We have the Golden Gnomes, which is going to be really awesome. We have at 4:45 the Last Man Standing tournament finale as well. So lots of really exciting stuff at RuneFest. Please do come and join us. And you can meet this lot there if you come in. Well, you would. I'm not entirely sure, but there we go. So yes, please do come join us Saturday. It's going to be great.
Okay, guys. This is our final stream before RuneFest.
We have one person who has to say goodbye at the end.
Yes. I'm so sorry for this.
Bye.
Bye.